students, welcome to this lecture of Strategic Human Resource Management, and today we will be discussing the topic evaluation of training. I am Dr. Tripti Barthwal, I am Director, Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management and Development Studies, Lucknow. So, we have already discussed the relevance of training, and we also have discussed that training is an investment which is made by the organization, expecting lot of benefits in terms of improved productivity and the efficiency of the employees and enhancement of their competencies, etc. So, it is very important to know how far whatever expenses are being made, whatever investment is being made in training and development, is it being justified or not, is it bearing any results or not, and that is why evaluation of training becomes very important. So, there is a requirement to prove the connection between investment in training and an improvement in organizational performance. The fact is that the benefits of sustained long-term investment in training are usually impossible to calculate accurately. So, it is very difficult to actually find out that whatever investment we have made in training, what is the result from that, right? But still, that is not a justification to say that we can't find out what is the return from the training program. So, let us forget about it, we can't say that. So, however, it is not acceptable to use this as a rationale to justify lack of accountability, and trainers must be able to make some estimation of the impact of their efforts or lose credibility. Otherwise, what will happen? The trainers, the training program will lose its importance, its significance, and then why will organizations actually invest in training and development programs of the employee when they are not sure about what are the benefits or what are the results which will come out from that training program. So, evaluation of training is a method of measuring change in knowledge, skills, attitudes, job performance, costs and the quality of the training. So, we have mentioned several things here. It is a method of measuring change in knowledge, skills, attitudes, how far the employees from their very neutral or negative attitudes, how far their attitudes have moved towards positivity, they want to work for the organization with lot of enthusiasm and lot of energy. Then of course, job performance, which will come from a combination of their knowledge and of course their enthusiasm and their attitude. Then costs, quality of the training. So, all this has to be ascertained, and it is done to determine whether the training programs are accomplishing their specific training objectives. So, basically it in a nutshell we can say that evaluation of training is done in order to ensure whether the training program is able to deliver its assigned objectives or not. Now, the phases of a training evaluation. The training evaluation can be broadly divided into three phases. The first is before the start of the training program, that is the pre-evaluation stage. In this stage, an evaluation is made before the start of the training program in order to understand the expectations of the trainees from the training programs and the extent to which they have understood its objective. So, when we were talking about the process of organizing or designing a training program, then we had discussed that the preparation of the learner is very important. If the learner is not inclined or he or she is not motivated to attend the training program, then whatever effort, whatever money we are spending in the training program goes totally waste. So, it is very important that the learner or the trainee understands the objectives, the expectations of the training program, and they are happy about it, they are enthusiastic about learning something new and how important for them it is to learn and how this learning will contribute to the growth of the organization, that everything has to be ascertained in the first go. So, that is the pre-training evaluation. Then second is the intermediate training evaluation. As the name suggests, this evaluation will be done midway. Now, once the training program has started, then some middle point we are going to evaluate the training program, so that we come to know that if there are certain deficiencies, there are certain gaps in the training program, then that they can be taken care of. So, intermediate training evaluation. It is done to ensure that training is progressing as expected. Mid course corrections can be made in the event of deviation. And the third and the final stage, which is also very important and which has to be there, that once the training program is over, then we have to evaluate whatever has been the impact, whatever has been the results from the training program. So, we talk about post training evaluation. It is done to find out to what extent training objectives have been achieved and the scope of improvement next time. So, maybe intermediate training evaluation will help us to do corrections midway, but post training evaluation is important to next time when we are organizing similar training programs, then we may need to make sure that whatever were the problem areas in the earlier training program, they need to be rectified, they need to be taken care of. So, that is why post training evaluation is important. So, now we will talk about the models of training evaluation. I will take up a few important models of training evaluation. The first is the very famous and much used model of training evaluation, that is the Kirkpatrick model. And most of the models which we will discuss after this will have the base of Kirkpatrick model, or they will have some part in common with this model. So, it is kind of a foundation for the other models as well. And it is a very simple model, and it kind of measures the training results, or it kind of evaluates the training program on 4 levels. Excuse me. The first is level 1, that is the reaction. So, how do participants react to the training program? React to the training program means immediately after the training program got over, then what is the kind of reaction of the people? Are they happy with the training program? Did they enjoy the training program? Did they feel that giving so much of time to a training program was worthwhile? So, that is the reaction of the people or the trainees towards the training program. The second level is the level of learning. What have participants learned? Reaction can be little dubious, because I can be happy from the training program because I made certain new friends there, or I was with my group of friends. I was nominated with a group of friends for this training program, so we had a good time. We had a time away from the work, so we enjoyed, right? Or the venue was very good. It was a resort in Goa, so we enjoyed the training program. So, there can be several reasons for being happy about the training program. So, reaction which is important, but then we also need to know that is it just because people are happy, have they actually gained something, or the skills or the competencies which we wanted them to learn from the training program. Then the next is behavior. Now, the third level will be that how their behavior, attitudes towards work and attitude towards the customers or whatever, wherever they are functioning, have their attitudes changed, right. So, it is like this, that if you want to understand the difference between learning and behavior, then for example, if somebody goes to attend a satsang, right. So, they will say, oh, it was very good. So, reaction is very good. Then the second is, oh, the person, the spiritual guru gave me so much of insights and so much of knowledge, and totally I am enlightened today. So, a lot of learning also has taken place. But when we see this person's behavior, regular behavior, then we feel, oh, there is no change. The person is behaving in a similar way. So, there has been no change in the lot of concepts have been learnt, but they are not being actually applied to the actual daily life or the work life. So, that is behavior. And the last is results. What occurred as the final results? So, results are as a result of the training program, because after the training program has accidents, the level of accidents come down, has employee absenteeism come down, has turnover reduced, has wastage reduced, or have the customer satisfaction ratings improved, has the quality of products improved, has the efficiency of the organization improved, have the profits risen, has the revenue increased. So, this is all the results from the training program. So, that is the most long term measurement. We will not get them immediately, reaction we will get immediately. So, that is why this model kind of tries to evaluate the performance of a training program on these 4 levels. First is the immediate level, that is the reaction. Then we see how much people have understood from the training program. Then we see whether it has resulted into a change in their mindset, and what has been the final results, which are more based on data and they are easy to quantify. Whatever criteria we are using in results should be easy to quantify. Then the next model is the CIRO model, SCIRO model. Now, what does these 4 words letters stand for? The C stands for context, I stands for input, R stands for reaction, and O stands for output. So, that is how this is the CIRO model. Now, let us take a look into what each of these mean. The context, input, reaction and output model focuses on measurements taken before and after carrying out the training program. It consists of 4 stages. So, in this model it goes a step further backward, I must say, that it starts from the organizing of the training program. So, taken before and after out of the training program. So, stage 1 is that of context, that is the background in which the training program has been organized. So, this stage assesses the organization to identify and evaluate the training needs. What was the need? What was the objective because of which this training program has been organized? This topic or this area has been focused in the training program. So, training needs and objectives, first it tries to ascertain or determine. In this stage a training need analysis is conducted. I am sure now you understand what a training need analysis is. We have already discussed when we were discussing about training. So, TNA or training need analysis is conducted to see which area of operations the organization is lacking, where is the deficiency, where is the gap, which we have already discussed, that how training need analysis is done. Once training needs are defined, they are set to the following levels. So, once you have identified the training needs, then these training needs are divided across 3 levels. The first level, that is the ultimate objective, that is after the training program is over, right. This objective aims to eliminate organizational deficiencies like poor performance, low profit, low productivity or poor customer service. So, after the training program is over, ultimately, finally, what are the objectives we want to achieve through this training program? Then the second level of context or objectives which we need to set are the intermediate objectives. As the name is suggesting, these objectives require changes in employees' work behavior, because the ultimate objectives will not be achieved if the intermediate objectives are not achieved, that is the employee's work behavior, his attitude towards the work is not changed. So, these are very, very important in order to achieve the ultimate objective. And the third level on which the context is set is the immediate objectives, and immediate objectives means that after the training program has finished, we take a test of the person, of the trainees, and we come to know what skills or what competencies they have learnt in this training program, and we can also judge their changing attitudes, but then that is more the domain of the intermediate objectives, right. So, these are the three levels on which the context is set. Then the second stage is that of input. Now, we have decided what will be our objectives, what are the deficiencies, what are the gaps. Now, the second thing is, or the second stage will be the imparting of the inputs. So, in this stage, information is gathered by analyzing available resources in the organization to determine the best choice of training technique. In the earlier lecture, we talked about training techniques and methods, and here in this stage, we kind of look at all the methods of training and find out which would be the best, because every method has its own pros and cons. So, we have to see which method will be the best for the employee, or the method which will be the best to achieve the training objectives. Then the third stage is that of reaction. In this stage, feedback from the participants is collected, right. So, after you have given the inputs, then you get feedback from the participants. The information gathered from this stage is used to further improve the training program. So, we can get the reaction of the trainees on three levels, three aspects. First is the program content, that what were the content given in the training program, did it justify the objectives of the training program, was it enough for them to achieve what was expected from them. Second is the approach, the way in which the training was handled by the trainer, was he open to discussions, queries, the training techniques which were used, were they up to the mark, or the trainees felt that better techniques could have been used. So, that is which is the part of approach. And the third is the value added, that whatever they have learnt in the training program, will they be able to transfer it into their workplace. If they will be able to transfer into the workplace, then whatever is their style of functioning currently, is it going to be an add-on to that, is it going to be a better way to function in comparison to what they were doing earlier. So, on these three criteria, generally the reaction of the employees can be observed. And then the fourth stage is that of the outcome. This stage evaluates the results of the training program. The outcome is measured on the following four levels. So, final result, the learner level, has the learner learnt the required skills and techniques. The workplace level, has the training program resulted in a better way of functioning in the workplace, has the workplace efficiency improved. Then the team or departmental level, that is the team with which this employee has to work, or the departmental head, are they happy, they are satisfied with whatever skills he or she has learnt. And of course, at the business level, has it resulted in improved business performance and benefits growth for the business. Then the third model of training evaluation is Phillips ROI method, and I am sure you know the full form of ROI, that is return on investment. So, it evaluates the training program's return on investment. This model basically emulates the scope and sequence of the Kirkpatrick's model, but with an additional step. The 5 levels of model are as follows. So, basically it adds on to the Kirkpatrick's model with there are 4 steps in that model. Now, we have 5 steps in this. The first level is reaction. You must be seeing that almost the similar ways are being used, and because it has been a build up on the Kirkpatrick model. So, it is similar to the Kirkpatrick model. The model starts with evaluating the participant's reaction and satisfaction to the training program, whether he is happy, he is satisfied or not. Then the second is of course, how much he or she has been able to learn from the training program. This level measures the skills and knowledge gained by the participants. Then third level is application and implementation. That is what we have been talking about, the transfer of learning. It is similar to the Kirkpatrick model. This level measures whether the participants of the training program learned anything from training upon returning to the workplace, or whether they were happy, but once asked that how can you improve the workplace or your working, they said, oh, we don't know anything about it. So then that means there has been no results at level 3, application and implementation. However, it improves that scope by determining whether an issue, if any, resides with the application of learning or its implementation. So it goes a little step further, wherein it inquires from the trainees that what is the issue. If they have learned something from the training program, then what is the problem, what is that point because of which they are not able to transfer what they have learned into their workplace. And level 4 is impact. Impact in the Phillips model, instead of result, it focuses on measuring the overall business impact of the training program. It is much broader compared to Kirkpatrick's model, and it identifies whether other factors aside from training affected the outcome. So it kind of goes a step further from the Kirkpatrick model, and it tries to find out that whatever has been the final result of the training program, whether it is good or it is bad, is it because of certain other factors also which have played an important role, or it is just because of the training program. So if workers or employees have improved in their performance, then it is very important to know that it is just because of the training program, or they have enrolled in some classes at other places also, or they are using some other aids and methods of improving their skills, or they already knew those things. So it tries to find out those factors which have created the impact apart from the training program. So there is more of going into detail. And the last level, which is there in the name of the model also, that is return on investment. This added level is designed to measure the ROI with the use of cost benefit analysis to compare the monetary value of the business outcomes with the cost of the training program. So finally, we have to see that whatever investment we made in the training program, whether the training program has been able to justify that investment, whether it has been able to give us those kind of results or those kinds of benefits for which this training program was organized. So if we invested X amount of money, then what has been the results in terms of the money which has earned by the organization at the level of revenues, or at the level of reduction in wastages, accidents, or reduction in turnover. So what has been the return on investment? And the fourth model is Kaufman's 5 levels of evaluation. Here also there are 5 levels of evaluation, and again it is a method which takes the Kirkpatrick's model a step further. And the first step is subdivided into 2 parts. Part A, measure the resources that were invested into the training program, like time, costs in developing the material. So whatever efforts, time, energy went into organizing this training program, that has to be measured. Then step 1B is evaluate the learner's reaction to the training process. So reaction is similar to the Kirkpatrick's model, wherein we see that whether the employees are satisfied, happy with the training program, did they consider that the time which was given to that training program was worthwhile for them. The step 2 is assess whether or not the training objectives for individual learners or small teams were met. So, you have to see that did they learn new skills, and what are the individual or micro benefits. We are not talking about the organization as such here, we are talking about the benefits to the individual as such from the training program. Then the step 3 is the practical impact of the benefits in step 2. Now, we will see that how far it has been beneficial to the organization also in terms of improved efficiency or applying skills on the job. First step was the earlier step, second step was dedicated to the benefits at the individual level, micro level. Now, we see how far skills have been transferred to the job. This is similar to Kirkpatrick's third step, right. That is the learning the behavior change which has been taking place. Then the step 4, measure the greater or the macro benefits for the business like increased profitability or reduced cost, which is exactly the results which we measure in the level 4 of Kirkpatrick's model. So, and the level 5 or the step 5, the final one is evaluate the effectiveness of employee training program in relation to the societal benefits. So, what are the benefits of the society in terms of improved products and services, better delivery times, and new features to the products, lesser price because you have been able to reduce the cost, etc., etc. So, for example, how did the training program improve the company's ability to add value to its clients and or society as a whole. So, this is the step 5. So, this is the diagrammatic representation of the Kaufman's 5 level of evaluation, and we start with measure the resources, 1A, then we move on to evaluate the learner's reaction, then we move to step 2, whether we see that the objectives were met or not on a micro level. Then we move on to measure the practical impact of the benefits in step 2, then measure the greater benefits on the level of the organization, and then we also have to see the societal benefits, what has been the benefits of the training. So, this model, what are the benefits of the training program to the society at large. So, this model takes a bigger and a higher view of the evaluation of the training program. So, I hope that whatever 4 models we have discussed in evaluation of training, you have been able to understand, and you have been also able to realize the importance of evaluation of training. Thank you so much.